Dude, I am stoked on this episode because I'm finally gonna have myself a running, driving hot rod. Those who follow my social media know that I've been working on a 32 Ford like land speed race car for a long time, but it's been sitting neglected for a couple years. So I ended up trading it off for a Model A on 32 rails. It's a complete roller. I got it from my buddies at Hot Rod Ranch, but I've never seen it in person. And so, Dulcich, ready?
Yeah.
Whoa! Cool!
Check that thing out, man. Freiberger, I honestly think this is probably the best thing that you have.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to approve so vehemently.
Look at this thing. Man, are you kidding me?
What's cool is this thing was painted in 1962.
I know, and it still looks pretty good.
And striped.
Check out the doors, how nice and smoothly they open and shut.
Whoa.
It's like a brand new car.
Model A's are never this good.
No.
Wow. So this is a 30 or 31 Ford Model A. It's unchopped, which is kind of what makes it neat, but it's on the very, very traditional 32 Ford frame rails. Guys did that back in the 50s because the 32 Ford was the first Ford that came with a V8 engine, and so guys would either swap them into their Model A or put the Model A body on it. I actually think this is more traditional than an actual 32.
Yeah, and check out the way it's equipped. It's got a badass dropped axle in the front, disc brakes.
Oh man, this thing is gonna be neat. What I want to do here is just put a small block Chevy in it to get it running and driving. And I know that's like a boring engine and everything, but you know what I always say, don't get it right, just get it running. What we're gonna do here is just make the thing run and drive as cheaply as I possibly can to make sure that I'm in love with it. And then at some point in the future, if I'm really into the car, I'll be putting a Hemi in it or stepping it up like that. So in 3 days, Dulcich and I are gonna make this happen. And by happen, I mean running, driving, doing burnouts.
So hopefully, we'll get this done pretty quickly and efficiently.
We're gonna have to be super tactical about it.
Well, I suggest you be General Freiberger and I'll just be Infantryman Dulcich and follow directions.
We're gonna make it happen. I assure you, Dulcich, there is no fail on this episode.
Oh, I completely believe that.
None.
Yeah, that's really, really convincing when you say that.
I know.
Basically, it's a car with none of the parts. Did you notice how I vacuumed the whole floor in here?
It has been remarkably dirtier than this.
Yeah. All right, my job is to get the engine and transmission for the street rod, and I knew I was saving this for something. This is the 350 motor and turbo 350 transmission that was in our 66 Chevelle project car. Last time we had this engine out, it seemed like we had a problem, but it turned out to be just one bad ignition wire, so it's actually more than likely good, and the transmission's been rebuilt. I'm gonna take it out front, pressure wash it, and then it'll be ready to install in our street hot rod. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
I'm gonna start working on the brake plumbing. This hot rod is kind of unusual because it has race car parts. Willwood tandem master cylinders. One of these is for the front, one of them is for the rear. And the thing that's interesting about them is there's a balance bar that goes on the brake pedal, so you don't need a proportioning valve at all. That's handled by the bar being angled and hitting one cylinder just a little bit before the other one instead of having one of those adjustable knobs. So that's actually pretty cool. But I'm gonna begin by figuring out how to run this -3 AM line from the master cylinders down through the floor so that I can get to the hard line that's gonna run on the frame. After much consideration, I've figured out that I'm ready to drill the first hole in my new car. I'm gonna take these braided lines, run them right down here, and go forward through the firewall into a 90-degree bulkhead fitting. They've got this little nut that is gonna capture the sheet metal right here so that I can do my AN line in there and out there. All right, I've got my hoses coming out of the master cylinder and into my line lock, which is a solenoid that locks the fluid pressure on the front brake so that you can do burnouts. And I'm gonna come out of there with hard line and then split that hard line side to side. I need this setup that's gonna go on the frame, which lets me then go to my brake hose. And from that bracket, I will go into my -3 AN brake hose, which will then go over to my caliper. At the caliper side, I need what's called a banjo fitting because this is a geometric type caliper and I need a 10mm banjo bolt that I don't have right now. But this is an adapter to take that banjo fitting to a regular old -3 brake line, which by the way is the same as the 3/16 24 brake line. It's really important to make sure that your brake lines have, you know, freedom of movement as the steering wheel is going in and out, and also make sure that it can go up and down with the suspension travel and not get pinched in anything. So that's a lot. Steve's over there trying to get the engine painted, which he probably will succeed in doing before I finish with this job.
I'm about ready to bolt this engine to the transmission, but before you do that, there's a few things that you need to pay attention to so you don't mess it up. Number one, on the small block Chevy, you have 2 freeze plugs back here, and if those things leak, the whole mess is gonna have to come apart again to replace them. So make sure those are good. I had to replace both of these because they were both pretty rotten. There's also a cam plug, and there's 3 oil galley plugs, so all of that has to be in position. You have to have the right flex plate to match the balance of the engine. Torque it to specs, use Loctite, make sure that's all good and ready to go. Finally, make sure the converter is fully engaged in the transmission. If it's not all the way back in the front pump, you'll ruin your transmission, so that has to be right. I'm gonna lower this, line it all up, bolt it together, and then slip it in the car. Hey, Freiberger, I've got a crazy tech tip for you.
Huh.
When you take stuff apart like this, cardboard box, every fastener I need is right here.
Wow. That's unbelievable organization,
I know.
Dolchak.
And all you need is an empty cardboard box and a couple of minutes.
Hold on, and all right, we're on the mount. We're also all over the floor, so. The issue I'm having here is that the transmission isn't clearing the floor, like the yoke won't even rotate. So we're gonna try and mess with this cross member here. That's sort of universal street roddy stuff to drop the tail of the transmission down so it's functional.
Do you want to be totally butch and just use nuts for spacers?
Yeah, go.
Anytime you're working on a hot rod, there's going to be a lot of fitting and fiddling to get stuff right. We messed around with the transmission cross member, and really it was just 1/8 of an inch of spacer and just getting it dialed in perfectly that made all the difference. And that's the way it is. No, I'm not just taking a nap here. What's going on is it's time to put the third member in the rear end housing. This is a 9-inch Ford, and basically it's a 411 gear set, 31 spline axles, and a track lock posit traction. We're using Permatex Optimum Gray as a sealant because we don't have a gasket. It's got a high bond strength, and it seems to do a good job. So I'm gonna try to bench press this in place without hurting myself.
Well, I sit here and do nothing strenuous. Okay.
Ready, aim, fire.
That was
Bam.
a good one. Oh, wow. Look at this thing.
What?
Suctioned.
Oh, man.
Oh!
Oh! Why did you have to do that?
That shouldn't have happened.
I was just actually taking delight in the fact that the floor has been clean the whole time.
Why would that happen?
I don't know, you were like a curious chimp, you know, you just say, oh, look at the suction. You're totally oblivious to the potential consequences.
Here's something I've been freaking out about. I noticed that when these axles were slipped into the housing, they were almost touching each other. Unfortunately, they are, in fact, way too long. Look what happens when I go in and engage the axle, it only goes in that far. That is a big difference right there. So what I'm gonna do is take this grease and put it on the splines like this so that I can sort of eyeball how deep they're engaging. Yeah, we have a problem. So it's going about this far. So you can see we've got only about that much spline left because you can't get into the taper of the spline right here where it's finished being cut. We only have about an extra inch of spline. That actually might do it. I'm gonna grab the other axle and see if maybe they're different lengths. This one's okay. Next problem, Ford 9-inches come with a bunch of different housing ends. The most popular one these days is called Torino, big bearing Torino. This happens to be what they call old big Ford pattern, and you can see that the disc brake kit that I have here doesn't even come close to fitting this housing end. And remember I told you we had to build this car in 3 days? Well, that just got blown because I have no idea how I'm gonna end up finding brakes for big Ford housing end on a moment's notice. But we will persevere.
The axle shafts we have here are Curry cut to length, and that means it's got more spline than you need for engagement, and you have to cut them to length. And that's a little scary, and I want to measure twice and cut once, so. Oh! That's one of the tech tips I really want to demonstrate. That looked like an accident, but I did that for demonstration purposes because you always want to see what's in the trajectory of your sparks because something can just flash on fire, burn the whole place down. Fredericker, what did you do?
I did the hard part. I'm gonna let you clean the gaskets and install it, don't worry.
I was looking forward to taking that all apart.
Let me see if the axle fits. Boom. Score, Dolchek.
It fit?
Yep. Okay, so the list is only gonna get worse from here, but I've got an idea what to do next.
We've conquered a lot of monolithic items on that list.
Yeah, the center section, the drive shaft, the axles fit, that's monolithic.
Yeah, I feel accomplished.
When it comes down to it, this is the most important thing on the whole episode, the tunnel ram.
That's what's most important to me.
Yeah, because this would look dorky without
No,
it. It'd just be dork monster.
Yeah, but now we're gonna be hot rodders.
It runs so bad.
I don't care.
Hopefully it does burnouts. And now, the final step in polishing this turd.
What?
Pow!
Oh, yeah.
The lake-style headers. I think Flowtech makes these. They came with the car, and they are stainless steel, side exit, which makes this thing so easy to work on.
And it makes it loud. Are we full race yet?
We look the part.
We're like the ultimate hot rod posers with our small block Chevy.
I realize it's true. This is gonna be cool. The last surprises for you, I think, are gonna be the grill and the wheels and tires. This is a 1932 Ford grill shell, or at least a cheapy reproduction of one. The problem is, when you install this properly and everything, the top of the grill shell ends up being higher than the cowl, and it looks terrible. The aftermarket sells radiators that are 2 inches shorter, and then you just trim the grill shell right here and drop the whole thing down, and it becomes goodness, but I'm gonna have to live with ugliness for a little while. I'm working here with a low car pedal. They're actually really trick. They have a lot of adjustability to them, but you gotta make sure they're in just the right place for like flip-flop clearance and stuff like that. Got the throttle pedal all set, steering wheel on. The interior's as done as it's gonna get. Okay, I finally got my brakes. Dulcich was working on fixing the shifter, but this right here is the linchpin of the whole operation. These have to work, or we're not gonna get this thing on the road. This is gonna be the moment. This is the caliper mounting bracket, and this part retains the axle in the vehicle, and this is the bolt pattern right here that's critical to make sure that it lines up with your housing end, and yes, whew. All right, Steve, we're gonna be on the road today.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe tomorrow.
No.
Here's how the brakes are gonna work. First, I'm gonna get my caliper mounting bracket here, which is also the bearing retainer. Next, we're gonna slide the rotor on, and then after that, the caliper will go on its bracket over the rotor, and we'll put the pads in. Disc brakes should only be installed by someone experienced and competent in the installation and maintenance of disc brakes. So our wiring job is so completely butchered that I couldn't even show it to you. I'm gonna let Dulcich walk you through it.
Yeah, I'm not particularly proud of the battery location, but temporarily we've just ratchet strapped this to the floor, even though that seems like our norm. This one is ignition on and off, and the fan. Now, this is the starter, and finally, the line lock. So there you go. The wiring, simplified and executed with precision.
The thing I've worked hardest on this entire car is the brake system, and I actually have trepidation and butterflies over putting fluid in it. I'm just waiting to have brake fluid everywhere.
Okay, down,
Down,
up,
up,
down.
down,
I'm getting great bubbles. Up,
up. Should I check the master yet?
yeah. Uh-oh, we got a big leak over here. We've got a major leak.
Okay, where?
It's coming from your, where your AN fitting goes into your brake line.
Which I forgot to tighten, so that's that. Woo! I knew this was gonna happen. Some leaks in the system, but fortunately this is one I just forgot to tighten. Okay. Whew! Look at that side of the list. Here's this one. Bleed brakes, done. ATF, I'll consider it done. We're about to do wheels and tires and drive this thing out of here. The wheels and tires are from Coker. We're gonna have a 560/15 on the front, which is a bias ply Firestone, and on the back it's gonna have a 10-0-15 pie crust slick. And they're on American Racing 15x5.5s and 15 8.5. The other thing you'll notice here is that these are the straight spoke Americans. It would be like a styling faux pas to have the torque thrust D, which by the way means disc brake, because it has the curved spokes to clear calipers. This is the older looking design, even though this doesn't really look that genuine.
Bam! Are you ready for greatness? Okay, the ignition is on.
I'm ready for backfire. Sounds terrible.
Advance the timing.
That's as advanced as it gets.
You don't think it's over advanced, do you?
Fire it up. Yeah.
Use your hat. It doesn't even suck enough air in to blow out the fire. Oh, man. Yeah, it's way retarded, it seems like. It's saying that from the get-go.
This thing's jacked up.
Yeah, it's jacked up.
This thing is a mess. What we're gonna try now is a compression test. Nothing. Next. Nothing. This thing has 0 compression in 6 cylinders. And I mean 0. How can that be? I don't get this at all.
Basically, this is the worst engine I've ever seen because
Yes.
it has 6 completely dead holes.
And 2 that want to run.
That doesn't make any sense.
This is so bad. This is now so bad it's funny. I was pissed like 15 seconds ago, but this is just ridiculous. At least I know it's nothing we did.
Frankly, I was very upset, but I've resigned myself to the fact that this is worse than garbage. It is trash.
So the next thing we're gonna do is pull off the valve covers, and we're gonna smack the valves. Sometimes you can get them moving.
Can you play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the rocker arm?
Give me the compression tester. This might have worked.
Ready?
Yes. 100% fixed. Next. 150. Fixed.
I told you that was the way to fix it.
Might blow out a little bit of oil, but aside from that. Okay, fire it up. What?
Does it have gas?
Yes, what do you think's burning?
It should run, shouldn't it?
Runs great.
Maybe you should have went with It's a Small World instead of Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Maybe that was the problem. We have to change the cylinder heads on this thing. We tried to fire the thing up again and you saw that it was just completely flame on, exactly the same as before, and we verified timing, everything. The problem is that those valves are still sticking. Even after I pounded them and got compression back, now that it's rotating over naturally, I've got 0 compression again. So we've got no choice but to tear the cylinder heads off this thing and throw them away and put something else on it. All it's gonna fix it. We've got to find out if we even have head gaskets for it and what heads to put on it, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, this motor is worn to the hilt. It is a worn-out engine.
Fortunately, Dulcich had some old dyno heads sitting around. What are these, RHS 180s? This engine is junk. Not only is it completely worn out, but we found out that it is already 60 thousandths overboard, so not even rebuildable. This has been a very roadkill day.
These heads use guide plates to locate the push rod, and the stock Chevy doesn't. So the problem you're gonna have is the guide plate will wear the push rod unless it's a hardened push rod. Luckily, I had these comp push rods, which are 7.850. They work in a hydraulic flat tappet motor. Goodbye, Corvette parts.
All right, cylinder head swap completely done. And Dulcich has already like glugged the engine full of gas. Do you think it's just tunnel ram cold?
Yeah.
That is impressive.
It sounds like it wants to go. Just don't look down the carburetor.
Oh, thanks. Can we please hook up a jump pack before we kill it?
Come on, start!
Stop.
Ah.
You got gas everywhere here. So now, the problem is, it's gushing gasoline out of the boosters, and therefore the slightest lean pop backfires. Look at that, see how it's pouring out of there? Needle and seat's either stuck or completely misadjusted. That is jacked up. Okay, going again. What's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. Well, it runs.
Kind of.
Those needles and seats were junk, and I can't get quite enough timing into the thing now. It's probably got like 28 degrees. We'd like about 36. We're gonna be able to fiddle around with that. And finally, tomorrow morning, drive the thing. I believe that. This is it, runs, drives. Steve spent till like, what, 12:30 at night messing around with the carburetors and stuff?
And now it runs, but the thing is, we are now hot rodders.
Let's hot rod. Okay, ignition.
Ignition's on.
Yep.
And contact.
And reverse. We're actually driving.
Yep. So far, so good.
How's the hot rod drive? Well suspension's totally bottomed out, so not that good.
Yeah, we've got to fix that.
Wow, feels cool though, huh?
Yeah. Real good old-fashioned hot rodding.
Yeah, cruising's good.
It's a little loud. I actually don't mind the loudness. It sounds like a hot rod.
What?
It sounds like a hot rod in here with all the noise.
Imagine this thing with horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be ridiculous. I'm gonna do a little bit of a hard stop. Okay, cool. The pads just need to break in.
Yeah.
Okay. Line lock. You're locked. Remember, I have to press the brakes. And
I know.
then- okay.
I did.
So, touch it.
That's touched.
These carburetors suck!
No.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, you can do it, Freiburger. I've tested you. Let her rip, buddy. You're scaring me.
Kill it. All right, verdict is, I love it. The carburetors are absolute trash. But aside from that, way better than expected.
Oh, man, it's hot rod greatness.
It really is. The thing scoots.
I'm surprised the motor lasted this long, and it ran pretty good.
It ran okay. It's not bad. I mean, I think if we tuned it up, it would be fun to drive. And man, does it need mufflers. It is loud.
I'm still ringing in the ears.
But as far as the experiment goes of putting it together to find out if it's cool or not, win. I think it's gotta get rid of that alternator. We gotta fix the carburetors. I gotta get rid of that steering column. But as a package, totally bitchin'.
I love it.
You tell us, should we wrench on it again? Because if we do, you know where you're gonna see it.
On another episode of Roadkill Garage.
You got it.